What do you think is more important, the product that an entrepreneur decides to sell, or the skills and how good they are at different functions of a business? I'm talking about how good an entrepreneur is at marketing, how good an entrepreneur is at sales, how good they are at operating, all that good stuff, right? At the end of this video, I would love to get your feedback in the comments, because I almost had an argument with the head of success at client acquisition.io, because he believed that the experience and the skills of an entrepreneur is more important than the product that they decide to sell. As an example, he believed that if someone is good at marketing, selling, all that good stuff, it doesn't matter whatever they decide to sell, that they're going to be able to scale it. And it is kind of true that if you have a lot of skill sets, it is for sure, like, you can go launch an HVAC company, you can start a software business, and you're going to be better than most people. But I don't necessarily agree with the fact that skills is more important than product. And when I say product, like iPhone as a product, who you decide to sell, what problem you decide to solve for them. Because from my experience, and I'm going to go back to even when I started my first business online, my first successful business, and I'm going to compare it to the skill question, because you guys will hear a lot of people online, especially people who sell information and people who sell training or skill acquisition products. They always say that, oh, you need to upskill yourself all the time. And I kind of agree that it is important, but I've also seen a lot of people who are really great at a lot of different things, but who end up even struggling to make ends meet. And I could also get the other side, where some kids or some people who've been in the game like for years, struggling, stuck between 10K, 20K, 50K per month, and decide to launch something new, pick a different offer, pick a different market, and just venture into that opportunity and end up making more in 7 weeks than they would make in 6 months worth of work, right? I believe the first time that this ever happened was with one of our clients who joined our program. His name was Amar. He had tried Snapchat agencies, he had tried, I believe, like email marketing, he had tried Facebook ad agency, but the most he's ever made with those businesses was like 25K per month, right? And this was around 2021, maybe 2022, when the TikTok crazy demand just started, right? Brands wanted UGC creators, UGC content, and he launched a TikTok UGC kind of like agency for brands, e-com brands, and in 6-7 weeks ended up scaling to a $700,000 annual run rate. He went from 0 to 60K per month in 7 weeks. And the thing you have to understand is his skill level did not necessarily improve. It's not like he got 3 times better. He didn't necessarily learn how to set better. He didn't learn how to sell better. He didn't learn how to advertise better. The same skill level that he had at 25K per month was the same at 60K per month. And then we had another client, Jirov, the only Jirov in the world, who had been trying to start an agency for the longest, right? He had never really been able to make something, work at scale and make 6 figures, multiple 6 figures a year. But, he had a creative side to him. And when the short form format of content platforms, Instagram released Reels, TikTok started to go crazy, and also shorts on YouTube starting to go crazy, he started a short form content agency. And imagine going from never being able to make 10K per month to in 3 months, maybe 4 months, making $27,000 weeks. And that to me was when I started pivoting even the course of our business. And one of the main value proposition of client acquisition.io was when I realized that most valuable thing that I can do for my clients is not skill acquisition. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't learn how to close, you shouldn't learn how to do content, you shouldn't learn how to write sales letters, you shouldn't learn how to operate a business, you shouldn't learn how to create margins in your business and look at a P&L and be able to establish if business is doing great, learn how to create moats, learn how to build brands, maybe figure out a way to access network effects or economies of scale. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be good at business and learn business as a whole, but I'm just saying that I've also been in the seat of trying to be good at selling something, where the supply and competition is through the roof. So regardless of how good you get at marketing, sales, or content, you're still just another one of those. I'll explain why it's actually harder when you double down on skill acquisition instead of picking the right opportunities, why it ends up actually being harder for you to scale. It's because, let's say you want to double down on becoming a closer. You guys know that there's a big trend of people wanting to become closers. It's also getting pretty big in the kind of for women to, I think there's now influencers who want to teach women how to become remote closers. And I get a lot of DMs nowadays from ladies wanting to close for me. I would love to hire, if you're watching this and you're a girl and you're really good at closing, please comment below and I'd love to send you guys a link to become a closer on my team. But if you were to become an excellent closer or maybe a great closer, it's going to take you probably 2-3 years of practice, maybe 2 years if you're putting in the reps and your company that you're working for has a lot of sales calls and has a lot of opportunity. But what happens when you do become good? Well, you're not going to be that unique if you think about it, because there's a lot of people becoming closers. and there's a lot of people taking a lot of sales calls, closing for a lot of big companies. So even when you do become good, you're surrounded by a lot of good, great closers. Same thing if you become a setter. Even if you join the top 10% of setters, well, there's still a lot of setters who are great. If you become a great marketer, you're still going to be surrounded by a lot of great marketers. So this is the thing that I don't necessarily like to double down on skill so much, because one, the learning curve to acquire skill and be good, it's time and reps. It's time under tension and the reps you put in. And that is something that you cannot skip. But when I'm trying to make a lot of money or grow my business, I don't want to wait until I'm 50 to say, oh, I'm really good at things and let me start making money. No, I want to launch a business. I want to launch an offer and start making multiple 6 figures a year. I want to launch it and get to 7 figures in the next 90 days. So I don't have time to be the best at every single function. And that is why picking the right who and the right problem is more leveraged than skill acquisition. All the clients who we've been able to scale to 50K, 100K per month, I would say that it was 80% the selection of what they're going to sell, what problem they're going to solve, and who they're going to solve it for. Even if they're average at every other scale and they're on their journey to becoming great marketers, great systems thinkers, great salespeople, great closing, right? Great fulfillment people, great operators. Even if this is going to take years of practice, the fact that we start from something that you can effortlessly win at makes it infinitely easier for them to actually grow a business to $500,000 a year to $1 million run rate. But I'm going to tell you guys this. If you want to sustain that level of success, you for sure now have to become really great and start stacking skills. But I wanted to just jump on here and give you guys my feedback around why I believe the who and the what you decide to choose is more important. And, if you want to explain it put simply, it's just the demand and supply, concept. If you're in an industry where the demand is way higher than supply, you could literally be ugly, dumb, slow. You could be addicted to alcohol, you could be addicted to drugs, you could be getting high every single day, and you're still gonna make infinitely more money than the guy who's stuck in front of a computer grinding it out and working 16-hour days, when it's like, bro, what are you doing? And you guys see this every single day. Let's look at this, and I'm gonna talk about this in this upcoming Webby where we're talking about AI. Even the applications we're choosing for the AI solutions that we're building and the offers that we're building, we're actually trying to find an edge. So I'll give you guys an example. There is this new thing going on short form as format content, where platforms are now prioritizing discovery. They're not prioritizing the people that follow you. They're prioritizing distributing or giving people from people that they don't follow. So what's happening is people are creating a lot of short form content, and good short form content are getting served to people who don't follow them. So that's giving you a lot of reach and a lot of attention for free. And that's where you guys are seeing a lot of people blow up through short form content. And they're building $1 million, 7-figure, even 7-figure a month business on the back of short form content. And the reason is there's infinitely less supply of content than there is demand. People are spending so much time on short form content formats that if you do create short form, you're gonna get reach inevitably. The same amount of reach that people are paying thousands and millions of dollars for advertising to reach users on platforms like Meta. By you just taking advantage of the short supply of short form format, you're gonna get reach. So guess what we're doing? We're building AI applications that take advantage of this trend, okay? And it's always from this mindset of we wanna find ways to win where not everyone is doing the same thing. When you start doing what everybody else does, it's really gonna be hard for you to win. It's really hard. Even for me, it gets hard when everybody's doing the same thing, everybody's selling the same thing, everybody's yapping about the same thing. It's hard to stand out, okay? So this has always been kind of like my push to our clients. It's find the right thing to sell, find the right person to sell to, and you never have to worry. You're gonna have a 6-month, 12-month window, maybe even 2-year window for you to collect as much money as you can before it gets super competitive and commoditized. And then you can take that capital to hire people who are way better than you. That's what happened to me. I went from struggling to sell advertising services and VSLs, funnels. I went through Sam Oven's Consulting Accelerator, right? And then I learned how he does VSL funnels. I learned how to advertise, and I wanted to go after coaches and consultants to sell them VSL funnels. But when I ended up getting clients, they were broke. So I struggled at that. Now, is it possible that I could have scaled that business? Yeah, if I wouldn't start an advertising agency today, I could probably scale it to millions of dollars every single year. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. It still would be hard, but because I have, great skills, I would still be able to scale scale it. But when I pivoted from that to selling something that is cheap, solving for the same problem, which was client acquisition, but I did it through leveraging VAs from the Philippines and charging $1,000, $1,500 a month. It took me around 6 months, 8 months to acquire a client from an advertising agency who paid me 4.5K. It took me 60 days to get to 10K per month with the appointment setting agency with VAs. And it took me 2-3 other months to get to 30K per month. The same timeline that it took me to make my first $4,000 for my first client, I was able to make almost 10 times that in the same timeline in 3-4 months. And was it because I got smarter or that I went through infinitely more courses? No, it was from the fact that I realized that, oh my God, this is the problem that people have, but they want something that is affordable. The fact that I was able to sell something affordable allowed me to sign 5 new clients every single week. And after 3 months, I had like 22, 25 clients paying me every single month. And I was still working and building my agency in the basement at home, right? I was still being asked to clean the dishes. So that's kind of like one of the reasons why we're doubling down on AI, because we know that we're building these offers and we're putting money on ads and we're just calendars are being flooded like no other. And when people come on a sales call, they don't have too many options. So they don't end up arguing about pricing, about this, about that. Hey, what if this doesn't work? Well, okay, what if this doesn't work? For sure, we're too early in the applications, but if you're first to apply these AI solutions into your business, well, you're going to improve and iterate much faster than someone who waits a year from now when AI agents are fully here. Does that make sense? So people are willing to spend a lot more money, even if they're still early and even if there is a risk to how good these things are, right? So that's just my thought. I would love to get your opinion, guys, what you guys think of this idea, why, what you sell is more important than your skill level. And yeah, if you guys have not yet registered for the upcoming masterclass, then I recommend you guys click the link below and learn more on what we're doing in the next few weeks. Love you. Bye-bye.